Mr. Hartgrave here with the ultimate Red Hulk War Scourge Guide. We're going to show you how to unlock Red Hulk with the minimum amount of investment and time, and we're going to show you how to get 500,000 points if you just want to get his shards, and we're going to show you how to get 1,000,000 points if you're looking to do a little better on those leaderboards, finish out all the milestones, and maybe even get a decent placement at the end of the day. Before we get started, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. Anytime you're feeling like it, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what kind of score you got, if this video helped you out, and share it around. All right, first we're going to get into the point breakdown because the points have changed on this Scourge. Things are a little different. I've added all the Scourges so you can kind of see, dramatically what's going on. So this time around, they've made it so that adding more Scourges is going to give you a greater advantage than just going up difficulty levels at a certain break point. So you're going to see that here. So if we're looking at difficulty 1, this is with all the Scourges applied, you're getting 179,000 points. As we go up, it's going to go up slowly to 250,000 points, 360, 500,000, 740,000, 1,000,000 points. Now the difference between difficulty 7 with all the Scourges and difficulty 8, this is what they've changed. They've changed this around, and I like this change because I think if you were back here months ago, or a month ago, 2 months ago, when we were doing the Rogue Scourge for the first time, we were noticing that you could just go up to difficulty 10, beat the Scourge, beat the trial or the Scourge with just like one Scourge applied, a couple of points of Scourge, and I ended up with a 7 yellow Rogue. It was very, very easy, and it took like no time at all to grab that. I don't know. Some players are going to be upset by that. Me, that they've changed that. They like that the way it was. Me, I like putting Scourges on. I like actually playing the game mode. And this is what this encourages, because if you look at difficulty 7 to difficulty 8 with all the Scourges applied, if you 6 to 7 was only like 500,000 points, 7 to 8, it jumps up to almost 4,000,000 points from 1.5 million. So you can see these Scourges really start to add up and get very dramatic. If you go up to difficulty 9, it's 4.4 million. And then if you go up to difficulty 10, it goes up to 5,000,000 points. So the new maximum amount of points is 5,000,000. However, I did test a lot of these Scourges today here on Twitch. Come join us live sometime. We're usually live every Wednesday and Friday at 6 p.m. till 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Although we're live on a Tuesday right now doing Scourge, so it's hard to say when we'll be coming around, when we'll be live. All right, so I'm going to deselect all these, and what I'm going to do to get, just to unlock Hulk. So right now I haven't played any of this. I just did some testing, and we did find a broken Scourge, which we can actually test some more on this run. Dark Resolve 3, on ally death, enemies gain offense up. This Scourge does seem to be broken. It doesn't seem to function at all. Let me know down in the comments. Is it working for you? For me, it did nothing today. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not expecting to have very much trouble at all going through difficulty 6 from what I've heard reported in my room today. So I'm hoping for an easy time. From what I hear, you can get 500,000 points and you don't have to do node 10. So you can throw whatever you have at node 5. And I don't have a lot. So trust me, if you're sitting there and you don't have Ravagers built, if you don't have Avengers, if you don't have Hero Asgardians, I don't either. So I'm going to use what I have, though. I do have a few members from each team that I've built up a little bit. We're talking tier 14, and we're just going to try to get 500,000 points with that. We're going to go ahead and start off with that. Now, if you're looking for 1,000,000 points, if you have a bigger roster like I do, and maybe even have some extra resources and can build some extra characters, we're going to do the 1,000,000 point run during this video as well. So check it out. There's timestamps down below for everything we're talking about today. So if you want to jump right, if this is boring and you want to jump over to that 1,000,000 point run, go ahead and do that, or hang out. We're going to have a good time. All right. Let's go. My chat says don't build Ravagers. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think there's any point in that. Although some people have T'Challa, and I bet that helps. We're going to start with this. We're not going to do node 10, but we are going to do node 5, just knowing that we can throw everything at it, right? We can throw everything at it. And let's see, does this actually still have on difficulty 6 for node 5? Okay, we still do need, it's a lot of stuff. Most people have some access to Hero Asgardian Wave 1 Avengers. If you don't have any of this, if you don't have Hero Asgardian, if you don't have Ravagers, if you don't have Wave 1 Avengers, you can still get 500,000 points. You just have to run either a lower difficulty with more Scourges, because there is a breakpoint here where I think it is difficulty 4. On difficulty 4, they actually remove the trait restriction on Node 5 and make it a little easier. So yeah, all heroes can be used on mission number 5. So this makes it easier to go through and get that 500,000 points. All right, so we're going to actually do 3 different runs. I'm telling you, timestamps are down below, but we're going to do 3 runs on how to get 500,000 points. Because as I was sitting here talking about it with my chat, as I filmed this video live, you're watching the edited version now on YouTube. We're discovering that there's actually quite a few different ways to kind of get this 500,000 points to unlock Red Hulk. I'm going to start with this. Other methods are down below depending on what your roster looks like and what you have or don't have. One method might be easier than the other. Hell, I'll give you my opinion after I run these and kind of tell you which one I found to be the least painful or the least stressful or take the least amount of time. But we're going to start off right now with this. This is difficulty 4. This is probably the easiest way to go through this. I don't know. Well, we'll check out other methods as we go. And pretty much every Scourge except for Rope-a-Dope. The one Scourge that is probably the worst, as I was testing Scourges, Rope-a-Dope was just like awful. And I wouldn't recommend that one at all. It's 30 points. We dropped it off. There's also a theory here that we could probably also get rid of When It Rains, which is also a pretty nasty Scourge. And that would probably still end you up with 500,000 points as well. I'm going to leave it on my roster. Most of my characters are level 90. They're, tier 15 at least, if not higher. So I think I can make it through. Let's go ahead and start this run. And I'll be checking in as I do this run. I'll show you every character that's been used. Maybe we'll do some highlights. If any of these nodes are really a problem, we'll go through it. And we'll give you all the teams you need to do this, what it kind of looks like. And then hopefully we can get you up to that 500,000 points. All right, so I did try that first node. I tried the first node with When It Rains, and it does not look like that's going to be a lot of fun at all. And we're going to get bonus points for every node anyways. So we were going to be over 500,000 points. So yeah, I'm going to pull When It Rains off. I'm going to run all the Scourges except for When It Rains and Rope-a-Dope. And let's meet up after node 1 and see what that looks like, okay? Okay, so that didn't go as planned, but hey, that's why you're watching this video, so I make the mistakes for you. I tried doing this without When It Rains, and I found that the node bonus, you get bonus points for every node, isn't big enough to get you to 500,000 points. So what I had to do is put When It Rains back on. It's pretty gross to handle that one, but the thing that really makes it even worse is when you combine it with Strong Opener, which is on spawn, the enemies get immunity. So on spawn, everybody was getting 3 stacks of immunity, which is just crazy. And there was really no way to deal with that. So we're going to go ahead and try it like this. We'll come back here. This is all the Scourges except for Strong Opener. We get rid of that immunity. And Rope-a-Dope, which is now another way to counteract Rope-a-Dope, if you're willing to do it, is as long as you go in without any skirmishers or any raiders, and nothing in your kit actually gives characters vulnerable, you can run Rope-a-Dope all day because you won't put any vulnerable out on the board. So you can run that as well. If you find that, you can't deal with When It Rains, which is something I could consider doing. You could also just run all characters because you have more characters you can use with the wider traits. You don't have to use anyone who you have set up as a skirmisher or as a raider because you're on such a low difficulty level. One thing I noticed from doing this node a couple of times, just the first node, was that the enemies just don't do very much damage at all. So you're kind of almost invulnerable if your characters are a high enough level. All right, let me go ahead, run a couple of nodes and let you know what I used and what the experience was like. And hopefully we're on the right track with this one for Scourge run number 1. Okay, so we did the first node, and yeah, we're much more on track now with the score that we want to be at. So if we want to end at 500,000, you're going to need to score very close to 50,000 per node. I'm going to need to score over 50,000 for a couple of these nodes, and that's going to come down to turn bonus, but I think I'm going to be able to do that. Although it does take quite a few turns to get through these. This is my web warriors. As you can see here, they're built up pretty big. In fact, let's go ahead and go on into the second node and just show you some of kind of what I'm dealing with. So here's my web warriors. They're around like 1 million total power. So you would need a very big focused web warriors. We're going to be using the like minimum amount of characters as we go through this though. But one of the advantages on running on this lower difficulty is that you can have more of your roster available to you on nodes 5 and node 10, but it really benefits having a very narrow, strong roster to get you through this. And this would be the ideal difficulty if you just didn't have a lot of characters unlocked, but you did have a lot of resources to put into those characters that you did have unlocked. Even if you can't get 500,000, this is probably a good way for you to get as close to 500,000 as you possibly could. I would say taking off Make It Rain is going to make it so much easier. You're going to fall short of like the 500,000, but you know, you'll make it up there. All right, I got a chance here to throw ability block on someone. I think I'm going to throw it over here on Cull, keeping in mind that since I have, you see the enemies just kind of crumble out there. Which is nice. And they don't do a whole lot of damage because my characters are up here on tier 15, you know, like level 90, which is what I recommend for web warriors. And if you want to know what I recommend in general, I do have this guide out here. And I'm going to try to kind of stick to this as I do this Scourge, kind of only using characters that I have on here and nothing really that I don't. So you'll see me kind of, I do have a bigger roster than I'm probably displaying as I do this, but a lot of the thought is, you know, hey, if you're following my advice, I want to make sure it works. I want to go through here and make sure that, you know, you can just build the few characters that I'm saying and you don't need, you know, like a full team of Ravagers or whatever. I don't think that's necessary. And it looks like the strategy on here is just going to be to tunnel out characters and don't let them take so many turns, because with the Scourges that we have on, the more turns they take, the more buffs they're going to get. And the faster we beat this, the more points we're going to get. And we do need to average higher than, you know, what we did on the first node. We got to get more points per node if we want to hit 500,000 points. So there it was, you know, Kestrel did her ultimate. I didn't really care. Here comes a big Spider-Punk ultimate. That's going to mostly kill out everybody who's left. They're getting ability energy because of the Scourges that I have on. So this is probably, I'm going to say that this isn't exactly like the most fun way to do Scourge, but can be very effective for some of us out there who maybe your team isn't holding up on other difficulties that I'm going to walk through later on in this video. All right, so I was able to beat that the second bio node just using web warriors again. But second bio node was much easier, much faster than the first bio node because I wasn't dealing with all those stacking evades from Young Avengers. Now speaking of Young Avengers, now we're going to go into the Avengers node, and that's exactly the team I'm going to use. I'm going to use Avengers, but I did want to point out this. This is the second time I'm going into this node, and the reason why is because there is a Valkyrie, and when you have a Valkyrie on the board, if you kill her, she can give debuffs to give buffs to her whole team, and then with When It Rains, that's just going to get out of control. So what I want to do is I want to kill Valkyrie and then make sure that she does not give her buffs to everybody when she dies. The good news is my Young Avengers is so strong that we're just kind of one-shotting everybody in here, and that's what we're going to do to Valkyrie. So we're going to take her out. And yes, we got lucky and it did not apply all of the debuffs to everybody. So we're going to keep this run. But yeah, I just want to let you know for this node, you definitely want to reset this until you get it so that she does not throw a ton of buffs on Thor and Mighty Thor, especially if you have a bunch of Scourges hooked up. That's just going to be a total nightmare, not worth dealing with. All right, so we're moving right along. We're on the second Avengers node right here, doing that difficulty 4 run with like almost all the Scourges. And what I'm finding is what you want to do if you're playing this way, especially because you have, the faster you beat this, the better. And what you want to do is just target someone who does not have death proof and kill them before they get death proof. Because with when it rains on, what they're going to do is they're going to get death proof, and then they're going to get another stack and another stack and another stack. And it's going to be very difficult to take them out. So what you want to do, and if you have big area moves, that's great. Especially if there's a lot of characters that don't have death proof, you can kill them all right away. That's going to be a big help for you if you're running it this way. I'm actually kind of getting it. And like when I did the first note of this, I was like, oh, this is kind of difficult. But then, tedious. I wouldn't say difficult because like you can see here, my characters are not taking damage. There's really no stress involved in this at all. But they were getting a lot more, debuffs or buffs on them, and it was taking longer. But once you kind of get the rhythm and you're like, oh, there's a guy without any death proof, boom, kill him. Because you're one-shotting everything, basically. So, okay, there it is. There is all the Avengers node, and I think our run score it's much closer to where it needs to be. I might still fall a little short of 500,000. And what I would tell you is if you have to run it this way, then you just have to optimize how fast you're going to do it, making sure you like kind of target out those characters without death proof. Or you can try flip-flopping it. You can try putting When It Rains on and then removing, putting When It Rains on and then just flip it around the other way I had it back at the start of this video. All right, so we just beat node 5 and just sticking with my strategy of using like as few teams as possible. We did just use Young Avengers on that. And it was really probably my fastest, easiest node yet. Just using Young Avengers here on node 5. So far we've only used Web Warriors and Young Avengers, and we've got a pretty decent run score. All right, we're going to have to get into some villains now. That does make things a little trickier. For new players, I know that villains are a little more uncommon in this game, but let's see what we can do about it and see how easily we can take down these villain nodes. Okay, so this is the first villain node, and you might think, Heartgrave, you lost 2 characters. No, I never brought them in. All I did was I brought in Agatha, Doctor Strange, and Morgan Le Fay, and that's what I'm going with. And we're actually going to come out of the node fully charged. This was extremely easy. Now, this does mean you have to beat that first Scourge before you take on the Red Hulk Scourge. So if you're a newer player, you haven't unlocked these characters, and also, Doctor Strange Heartless and Agatha are not farmable yet, but this is really the easiest way to go through this with the fewest amount of characters would be on difficulty 4 with like all the Scourges here just to get the unlock on Red Hulk. This is what I suggest. So if you do have a narrow roster and if you are just going for the unlock on Red Hulk and you have the few characters that I'm talking about here, because otherwise I don't know what you're going to do on villains. You actually might... If you don't have access to this, then the next part of this is probably going to be more your speed, where we do difficulty 6, and that way we will be able to use. We'll have no Scourges on, so you'll be able to use weaker characters because the villain characters in this game they're difficult to get for new players. Or if you don't have any villains at all, you might want to check out, and links are down below, the difficulty 7 run, which is just 4 nodes, no villains at all. So there's that as well, but we're going to go ahead and keep on going on this. I'll let you know how it goes, just using 3 characters, just the Darkhold characters on the villain section. All right, so the second villain node's crazy fun. They almost give you the full wave to start off with. I just came in here, dropped the Morgan Le Fay special, and followed by her ultimate, and then almost everybody died. We're going to drop the Doctor Strange ultimate and kill what's left, and then just 3 characters left. I got everything charged up, so we're going to hit the Agatha ultimate. What's really cool about this team as well is you do get to, I should have held that ultimate from Agatha until Icarus came down, but doesn't matter. We were able to one-shot him out. What's really cool about this team is you get to drop Disrupt down, so it stops all those crazy buffs from appearing, and it becomes a very easy section. So yeah, you can add whatever villains you want, but if you have these 3, easy way to go right through this. All right, so for the skill sections, what I'm going to kind of suggest is this team here, basically your raid skill team. And I put Gamora in because I know there's a lot of players that might not have access to Kestrel, and Gamora is much more available. But yeah, I feel like Sam Cap, Maria Hill, Sharon Carter, Shang-Chi, and Gamora is a good way to go. Of course, if you have Kestrel, replace Gamora with Kestrel. I'm also noticing that as I do this run, I am falling short of the 500,000 points. So I'm going to have to adjust the Scourges. I don't think I'm going to rerun this, though. I think you can kind of get the idea of what we're doing here. Basically, it's a lot of Scourges, difficulty 4, trying to beat the nodes quickly so that you get the most node bonus, using the fewest amount of characters, and that's what we're going to keep doing. We're going to go into this second skill node with the same lineup, just this very, no Kestrel. Any day now, they're going to move her out of the premium orbs. By the way, just an extra little tip here, a little tidbit. Don't open your premium orbs yet. I don't know, you might have followed someone else's advice. You might have already opened them. I'm hoarding my premium orbs until they move Kestrel out of them. She's going to come out any month now, any week now. Kestrel's going to come out of there. Someone new is going to go in, and that's when you open your premium orbs, because that's the highest probability is to get both Deathpool and Kestrel. I have them both maxed out, so I'm not opening premium orbs. Just throwing that out there for people who might, still be able to benefit from it. All right. We'll be back. We'll be checking in on this as we go into the last couple of nodes here on this run. All right, we've just about beat this node, and my chat was warning me this Phantom X is kind of on another level. I'm hitting him with incredibly powerful attacks, and he's holding up to them. I can tell he's going to be a problem on higher difficulty levels. Oh my. All right, we're going to go into the final node now. That was it for the skill section of this run. And I think I'm just going to use Young Avengers on the final node and see how it goes. And then I'll check in. I'll give you the advice about how I would adjust the Scourges so that you do hit that 500,000 instead of coming up short. I think you just have to flip a couple of things around, and then you can get it using the same strategy that I'm kind of detailing out right here. All right, we're going to go and use that. Young Avengers, although it is hero, the good news about this is now you can use your entire hero roster on this if you're doing difficulty 4. If you're doing higher difficulties, then you're going to be stuck into those Hero Asgardians, Ravagers, and Wave 1 Avengers. Okay, and we are on node 10, and we are just cruising right away with Young Avengers. On difficulty 4, my Young Avengers are not really being damaged here. However, this node is nothing to be played with. And I can tell that on higher difficulties, it's not going to be fun at all. So strategies that don't involve node 10 might be, right for you. And definitely if you're doing this and you have access to Icarus, he's going to be a huge help when they get all these buffs on them, when you're running these high Scourges. Being able to flip all those is going to be really, really useful. And if you're trying to do this with just Young Avengers, you're going to have them tuned up pretty high. But as you can see here, I'm really not having a problem. In fact, I even forgot to change Squirrel Girl into a healer, which I'm definitely going to have to do for my higher runs. I normally have her as a striker, but for most game modes. But for Scourge, you really want to switch her over to a healer. So I'll definitely make sure I do that before I go into the higher runs. However, this is just fine on difficulty 4 if your characters are strong enough, but you just don't have those node 5, node 10 teams. You can easily get your 500,000 points by doing this. Pretty stress-free. I really didn't have to restart any of these nodes. I was able just to kind of go right through here. A lot of my chat are saying they can do this on auto. It's not really a problem. So there it is. Let me show you what I would need to change around to get that 500,000 because I'm just falling short on this run, I think. Let's go ahead and see how this looks. But yeah, you would have to do this like a little bit faster to get the, I'm just falling short of that 500,000. So I'd have to do it a little bit faster, or change the Scourges around. So which should be fine. It really shouldn't change too much at all. Just flipping these. Let me show you what I would flip. So what I ended up doing was On spawn, enemies gain immunity. I would go ahead and flip that back on. And then that's all I would really need to do. So just flip that back on and deal with that. It's going to be much nastier to deal with because you're going to have to still have to deal with when it rains, which is not fun. You could also go with rope-a-dope, though. There actually is a strategy here where you can remove all your skirmishers and all your raiders, or switch isotope 8 classes so you don't have them. And then you can easily turn this on, and then you can drop off, when it rains. And that you could probably even drop off when it rains. And I don't know, maybe you can drop off immunity too. I don't know, that might be pushing it. Anyways, if you want to try that, let me know down in the comments if that works for you. We're going to move on to the difficulty 6 run, and we're not going to run all these scourges for difficulty 6. What we're going to do is we're just going to run the scourge, which when I was testing these, I found it to be broken. I found that it didn't do anything at all, and that was Dark Resolve 3. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on because I don't think it actually does anything at all. And we're going to run difficulty 6. Now, running difficulty 6, this will assume that you do have some kind of team for node 5 and node 10, but we'll show it here, and we'll show the team that I use and see if this team will work for you or something close to it. Sorry about that. I actually forgot. Not only are we going to add Dark Resolve 3, but we're also going to add Stay Down. It is a pretty free scourge. 30-point scourge on a player character's turn. Remove revive once from that character. Basically meaningless. You know what? One more we're actually going to put on. Chat didn't mention this, but I noticed it when I was doing my review, when I was going through and checking these scourges out and seeing if they worked or not. I am going to go ahead and put on this one to Butterfly Effect. No, not Butterfly Effect. Sorry, my bad. It is the Striker one. Yes, Unstoppable Force. Strikers, they gain 5% barrier and flip offense down. There's not that many Strikers on these nodes, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that on here. I don't think it's going to affect this run at all, especially not on level 6. I think you can pretty much put that one all the time. It works, but it barely does anything. So we're going to see how few nodes we need to get 500,000 points. With this, we definitely do not need to touch node 10. So that's good. If you have a team that can just clear node 5, it can die. It doesn't need to do node 10 to get your 500,000 points. So let's go ahead. Let's get into this. Let's start the run. See if we can get those 500,000 points for real this time. All right, so my Web Warriors is just this is the second node. We're just kind of tearing right through this. It was not a problem at all. You don't get to use Web Warriors anymore after this, so I'm just going to go ahead and use all my abilities, just clear this out. I'm actually finding the difficulty 6 run to be more pleasant than the difficulty 4 run with all the scourges, just because I don't have to deal with anything. Faster, easier. It's going to take less time. I'm going to do less nodes. So this might be a superior way. If you can move up to this might be more palatable for you. All right, we're going to go ahead and move into those Avengers nodes. We are going to stick with Young Avengers for that. But yeah, these bio nodes are super easy. If you've got a well-built Web Warriors, you can tear right through that on difficulty 6. So really easy to get those 500,000 points just to unlock Red Hulk. So yeah, I'm using Young Avengers on this, and this is the first Avenger node, and it couldn't be easier. It couldn't be easier. I'm saving up all of my ultimate moves for the second node. That's typically what you want to do on these D6 runs on the lower difficulties, is just kind of save up your abilities on the first node and then go into the second node like fully charged and just rip it apart. In most of these, the second node is harder than the first node. So having that knowledge, just make sure you charge your characters up on the first node, go into the second node, and lay waste to them, which is what we're going to do here. And then we'll come back, and we're going to probably show you the full playthrough on node number 5, because that's going to be, the trickiest for most people. So we'll definitely walk you through that, show you the characters, see how little we can use to beat it with. All right, so I'm doing this, and Young Avengers, I was saying for a while that, they have fallen off. And I really can't say that anymore. I mean, if you look at my graphic that I have, you'll notice that Young Avengers is up near the top. And there's a reason why. These are kind of arranged in order of importance. And you could even say Young Avengers is really pushing this level 90 kind of range because of how useful they are in Scourge. I'm find that I'm no longer regretting my over investment in Young Avengers. I have some of them at tier 16. I have most of them at level 90. I even almost have a level 4 blue isotope 8 on Squirrel Girl. And they just keep coming up in Scourges. They seem to be a vital piece of every single Scourge. And you're going to do better in Scourges if you have a bigger Young Avengers. So definitely, I'm going to definitely recommend them for tier 15, level 80. Push them to level 90 if you can afford to, if you have the resources. They're not going to do too much for you in War. They're not going to do too much for you in Cosmic Crucible. They're pretty much useless in raids, but just for Scourges, which are a very important game mode, because you're going to need to get, what we're doing now is we're getting 500,000 points. Then the next goal is going to be get 1,000,000 points. Finally, even after you hit 7 yellow stars on a Scourge character, you'll need to come back every time they run a Scourge, and there's at least going to be 4 of them, and they're going to be on this rotating basis, probably once a month. You're going to need to come in here and get 1,000,000.5 points to get all the milestones off of. When you get 7 stars, you move over to a new reward bracket. So right now, I'm on like the beginner reward bracket, right? And all I need to do to max this out is get 1,000,000 points. When I get 7 stars on Red Hulk, I'm going to move over. I'm going to be removed from this. I'll no longer be on the leaderboards, and I'll be expected to get 1,000,000.5 to get all the increased rewards from the from like the Victor's milestone. So Young Avengers made easy work of this on difficulty 6. I know I'm going to lean on them when I do difficulty 7, when I torture myself with difficulty 8. Not in this video, I don't think. Though maybe we'll have to run difficulty 7 to get difficulty 8 to get 1,000,000 points, but I think we can do it on difficulty 7 as well. I don't know. We're going to find out. Keep watching. Links are down below. All right. I was going to edit right here, but I'm not going to edit right here. This is the Avenger node. This is node 5. This is Hero Asgardian Ravagers or Wave 1 Avengers. Let me show you what I'm going to use to do this, because I'm not going to use a straight ahead team. I am going to use a hybrid team. I think it is this. This is it. This is what I have built. And I think this is kind of where I'm going to put everything. Let me go. I think I'm just going to switch Valkyrie here and Iron Man here. What do you think, chat? Is this the right placement? Is this where everything should be? Because, yeah, Sif's going to get, a lot of taunt on her. Hulk is able to get taunt as well. Iron Man's going to be the weakest character, so I'm going to want him over there protected the most. And, we want Thor around as well. I think I'm missing a few tier 4s on Sif, on Thor. I have all the tier 4s on Valkyrie except for her passive. And we are just tier 14. It's a tier 14 Sif. It's a tier 14 Valkyrie and a tier 14 Thor. We are level 90, tier 16 on Hulk. And we are level 90, tier 15 on Iron Man. But, yeah, we're going to see how it goes. We've put Fortifier. You can't really see it here, but I do have Fortifier. Here, I can actually move this. Yeah, Fortifier there on Sif, Striker on Hulk, Skirmisher on Valkyrie, Striker on Thor, and Raider on Iron Man. I do have 6 red stars on Thor. I have 7 red stars on Iron Man, and everybody else is just at 5 red stars. So let's see how this works out. If we can get by with this. Keep in mind, I do not have to be node 10 with this. Just have to be node 5. So if people die, it's fine. Hey, if Valkyrie dies, she'll give those buffs out. 50% chance I'd of course restart if she died and she didn't give out the buffs. Let's just see what we're looking at. Chat seems confident. Chat seems to think that chat's telling me you can actually crush this with just a tier 13 Hero Asgardian team, which might be very true, but we'll see. Okay, we did take a stun on Hulk here. I'm going to try to go for a kill on Negasonic. I don't know how strong my Thor is. My Thor is very strong. Much stronger than I thought. We're going to open up with the ultimate from Iron Man. I think he's going to put in some work here. Whoa. Level 90 is no joke, boy. Okay, we're going to go ahead and use Valkyrie's charge. Let's get rid of Mr. Sinister if we can. This is great news. I'll walk you through this team. I'll show you this team and how little we're actually using here, but I'm kind of surprised. This is working great. I'm actually thinking that this might hold up on difficulty 7. All right, we did get hit there with Omega Red. It might have been a good idea to get rid of him before he took his turn, but we don't seem to be... Oh, Mighty Thor. Get out of here. Yeah, if I'm having problems, I'll just move Mighty Thor's level up some, and that'll probably take care of all my problems right there in itself. Okay, Mighty Thor, big ultimate coming down. If I was thinking about doing node 10, I might save that, but since I'm not even considering it, we're just going right through. Wow. Easy. Couldn't be easier. No problem. So yeah, you can definitely get 500,000 points, almost ignoring the node 5 requirement here on difficulty 6. I'm going to say this is easier to do than difficulty 4. Difficulty 4 was tricky. I mean, I guess if you have a really small roster, maybe that strategy would work for you, but I'm loving difficulty 6 right now. Let me walk you through that team. Let me go ahead and show you that real fast. What we're actually using there, what that actually looks like, just in case you want to do like the bare minimum. This is Hulk. It's worth it to throw everything into Hulk. Throw everything you got into Hulk because he's a horseman. You got to do it anyways. That's my advice on Hulk. Iron Man, while I'm not building Bionic Avengers, I know that someday I will. So because I know that someday I will, it made sense for me to go ahead and, take him up to level 90. Take him. Where the hell is he? All right, let me find him here. Bionic Avengers. Just pull him up. All right, there's my Iron Man. So yeah, I did take him up to level 90. We did take him up to tier 15. I think that's a good level for him anyways. If you consult my graphic, I do have Bionic Avengers up here at tier 15, level 90. Start, if you haven't built him yet, I would get Iron Man. I would do it now. I would do it for this Scourge. You're not going to waste anything on that. I did max out his tier 4s. But yeah, we're not going to tier 16 on this. We're not doing anything else. Having him at 7 red probably helps a lot for what I just did, but I imagine at lower tiers he'll work just, or lower red stars, he'll do just as well, or decent. Maybe he won't destroy everybody with his special like I did, but who knows. All right, 4 Avengers. No, 4 Asgardians, who are also Avengers. Some of them are also Avengers. Here we go. Let me grab these Avengers. Or Asgardians. Get it right, Heartgrave. Figure it out, man. Trying to make a professional looking video here. All right, here they are. So like I said, I kept them at level 80 so that I have the option to put tier 15 on them. I put tier 15 on them. Oh, my chat's right. My chat's correcting me. I actually have Iron Man up at tier 16. This is for people who don't have Dormammu yet. If you don't have Dormammu, you can take Iron Man up to tier 16 for this and it wouldn't be the worst thought you ever had. So keep that in mind as well. Iron Man, totally viable for Dark Dimension 5. All right, moving on to the Hero Asgardians. I just did tier 14. I have no tier 4s on Thor. None. None at all. And I do have 6 red on them, but I only took them to level 80. If I need them and more to do higher difficulties, I might even do it in this video if I need more power on this team. But for difficulty 6, this was absolutely fine. Level 80, tier 14, no tier 4s. No tier 4s. And then on Valkyrie, Valkyrie's kit is really good. So I put tier 4s on her basic, special, and ultimate. I think it's kind of necessary. It probably was. The team was so good. Once it got around to Thor's ultimate, even just his passive triggering kind of did it. I probably didn't need to do this at all, but probably for higher difficulties, this is going to help because you unlock an ability block if you do this. You unlock a stun if you do this one. Like, so much of her kit is locked behind the tier 4s that they're kind of necessary to make her work. But once again, tier 14, level 80. Okay, let's go on to the villain nodes and see if we're able to do those. We just did them with 3 characters on the lower difficulty. Let's see if we can just use 3 characters this time around as well. All right, so once again, yeah, I'm doing difficulty 6, and I'm just doing this with Darkhold. Just the only Darkhold I can, just Agatha, Heartless, and Morgan Le Fay. They're just laying waste to this node. It's really amazing how well this team just works as a trio. No reason to build up any other characters. Just build these characters up. This is pretty much the case for all Scourges, by the way. Of course, if you're going to push difficulty 8, if you're going to try to get like really high on the leaderboard, you're going to need to add other characters to this. Maybe. But these characters are so good on their own that the overinvestment in them that the game is asking us to do, right? Horseman characters, tier 17. It's all worth it. It's all worth it because they're incredibly amazing. Thank you for the donation, chat, on here on the video. Thank you for that. I don't see that Zemo graphic pop up very often. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll do something cool with that. We're buying Halloween decorations. You might notice we got our first Halloween decoration back here. More of them are coming. There you go. Mini intermission. Okay, we're going to move forward. We're going to keep going. We want to get 500,000 points. We're not stopping until we get there. We're going to do the second villain node. We're going to do it with the same thing. Just same 3 characters. They are all tier 16 for me. However, I did not spend any money. I'm free to play, so I didn't spend any money on this Agatha. Didn't spend any money on this Heartless. It's all just the free to play, so it's like 5 stars on each. My Morgan Le Fay is overpowered. She is 7 red, so there is that. But I think even without those stars, this team's going to... These 3 characters are going to work just fine because they're just so overpowered in their kit. So yeah, I'm doing the second node now, and literally, like, this is two moves in. I did 2 moves. Everyone's dead. I'm down to an Icarus. You don't need to level up other villain characters. Just these ones. They're the only characters you need. The only villain characters necessary. Right here. Morgan Le Fay, Agatha, and Doctor Strange Heartless. And it's going to keep being that way. Because as more people put more resources into them, just use these guys. They're going to overpower all this stuff. Ridiculous. All right, so we are 1 node away. So in fact, you only need to do 8 nodes to get your 500,000. Let's see, what are we going to do skill? I think we're still just going to use the raid team. And as a favor to you new players out there who might not have her, I think I'm still going to stick with what I did last time, which was use the raid team, which is kind of readily available. And I'm going to drop out Kestrel. I'm going to put in Gamora in here. I found last time that you didn't need Kestrel. Of course, Kestrel would be a better choice than Gamora, but if you got her, use Gamora. There's still some value in her. I know in other Scourges that when you get to the Cosmic Nodes, we were clearing these out with just Gamora and Nebula with no other team members. I kind of like going in here with just 2 or 3 characters just to show how much weight some of these characters are pulling as opposed to others. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to have a problem going through this. Now, the Secret Avenger team does lack damage outside of raids, but on difficulty 6, I don't think we're going to notice as much. I think we're going to rip through this. I could use, you know what? I am going to use Shang-Chi's ultimate right here because we're not even doing the second skill node, so I don't really have to think about conserving my ultimate moves. I can just let them go. And we've already killed most of the first wave. Sam's going to take out the rest of that. We're going to be left with 4 characters down here. Couldn't be easier. So this is the easiest 500,000 plus. Because really, there's nothing stopping us from going after the next skill node and dropping node 10 with what we have here. Nothing at all. You can easily push on this, but I think this is probably the easiest way to get the maximum amount of points. All right, that's going to be it for this run. We're going to move on to our next run, which is just going to involve doing, I don't know if we're going to do another run. I was thinking I was going to do difficulty 7. Maybe I'll just talk about it as I do this. But look, this is so easy and requires such a minimal investment in your hero as Guardians, and two characters that you're already going to build. You're already going to build Hulk. You're already going to build Thor. Or, I'm sorry. You're already going to build Hulk and you're already going to build Iron Man. You probably weren't going to build Thor. You weren't going to build Valkyrie. You weren't going to build Sif, but you only got to take them up to like tier 14, level 80, which for a lot of us shouldn't be that big of a deal because it's going to be a continued investment. Like I said, this keeps coming around and coming around. Every time it comes around, you got to get 500,000 points. You got to get 1,000,000 points. And eventually you're going to have to get 1,000,000.5 points. So there it is. There's the 500 point run. There's the 500,000 point run using very, very little. I hope it helps out. Let me think about it. I'm either going to run it on difficulty 7 next, or I'm going to run my 1 million run now. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I got to think about it, but at least we actually hit 500,000 this time. I'm pretty proud of me. Leave a comment down below. I'm proud of you too. All right, what the hell I'm saying anymore. I'm going to edit here. All right, Gravediggers. So what I've decided to do is actually do both. This last run is actually going to be two things at once. I'm going to run difficulty 7 with 256 points of Scourges. And what that means is if I can clear the first 4 nodes, I'll get 500,000 points. It'll be yet another method to get 500,000 points. Or if I can make it more towards the end, I don't believe I have to beat, I will not have to beat node 10. But if I believe I can, if I can beat even just to node 8, I think that's going to give me 1,000,000 points. And then, yeah, if somehow I'm able to beat node 10, great. I'll have a great ending score. Here's what I'm going to run. These are the Scourges that I would suggest that would have the most minimal impact. Everything past this, at your own risk. You know, you can put on more Scourges. I might put on more Scourges. As this event goes on, we do have 10 days to kind of clear this out. But yeah, here's what I'm thinking for right now. I'm going to run Dark Resolve 3. This does not work. So this is a free one. Doesn't seem to function at all. I'm going to allow enemies to gain 5% drain. Not a big deal. When a player character gains ability energy, it'll apply slow to them. Also not a problem. I'm not gaining that much energy. As long as I keep in mind that that's what happens when it happens, it'll be fine. When an enemy character gains ability energy, they gain offense up. The thing is, they don't do that very often, so not a big deal. Power fatigue is never a problem. Having characters' ultimate abilities cost more ability energy is easy to deal with. Just makes cooldowns a little different, but that's fine. Stage Fright. When you gain taunt, gain defense down. I don't love this one, but I think I can deal with it. I think I can overcome it. We're going to run Too Clever. When you use your special, you get ability block. That's fine. It's like you may as well throw Too Clever on. If you're using Power Fatigue, throw on Too Clever because it's going to take you extra time to get around to that ultimate move anyways. Your ability block will clear by the time you get to it. Going to use when a player character blocks, apply heal block to them. That's going to suck, but not every character blocks all the time, so it's not going to be very persistent. We are going to add on when an enemy drops below 50% health, they gain death proof. This is annoying at best. Sometimes it even helps you, so I'm going to go ahead and throw that one on. Unstoppable Force, we had it on in the last run, and I didn't even notice it was there. Definitely add that one on there. I'm going to throw on Weekend where my healing is reduced by 20%. This does affect the Web Warriors. However, my Web Warriors walked over difficulty 6 so easily. I don't think it's going to be a problem here. Special abilities are going to cost 1 more ability energy. Like I said, you barely notice those. I'm going to put on Bleeder too. Getting minor bleed doesn't really seem to do anything. I didn't notice it even at higher difficulties when I was experimenting around. It wasn't really a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and throw that on. I'm also going to throw on Butterfly Effect. Now this is going to change the way I play the game because it's going to make me target fortifiers. There's not that many fortifiers on here to begin with, but I will want to make sure to kill them before they use their ultimate ability because they will spread their positive effects. Now, if they don't have positive effects, they won't be able to spread them. So that's another strategy you can use to kind of mitigate the damage that Butterfly Effect is going to do to your run. Next up, we're going to use Fight or Flight. That's when they drop below 40% max health. It'll apply speed up to them. I don't think that's a big deal. They're about to die at that point anyways. I'm worried about off balance. I was trying to use this on the Rogue Scourge and I had to back down off of it. It can be quite annoying to get heal blocked whenever you use offense up. This is either or. They used to have this worded differently, or it worked. It was always worded like this, but it didn't work like this. You had to have offense up and defense up. Now it's either or the way it is written, and it sucks. But I'm going to use it anyways. This is potentially a problem, and I might have to roll back off of this, but on enemy turn, they're going to get a minor offense up, so they're going to hit me a little harder. I think I can overcome it. We will see. Finally, I'm going to run Stay Down. It's really a free one. I didn't even use Dormammu at all on my difficulty 6. You don't use Infinity Watch on this one, so you may as well, not have Revive once if you're not even using it. All right, let's go ahead and get into this run and see how far we can get, see if we can get the 500,000, see if we can get the full million, all on difficulty 7. Okay, I'm doing the first node and I'm using Web Warriors with the Scourges that we talked about, and it's going pretty well. I'm taking on damage. It's definitely a little, I had to hunt down the fortifiers, make sure they died. It's definitely something where maybe I could replay it and do a little better, but I'm just going to keep this run. I'm doing like the minimal kind of resetting RNG kind of thing. Number one, I'm here on Scourge, and I typically prefer to do that offline, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That went fine. That's one node down, 3 to go for 500,000 points. Let's see if we can get it. All right, so here's the end of the second node. Now, the end of the second node's going a little rougher for Web Warriors here, but I'm not too worried about it. Even if my Web Warriors die, I have a lot of other options to bring in here. I could bring in Gamma, which is a great option. I'm just starting to build it now as a free-to-play player, so I could use that. There's a lot of stuff that you could use symbiotes in here and kind of work off of these Maria Hill summons. Or if you're lucky enough, you can probably just get right through it with your Web Warriors like I'm doing here. It was a little closer, a little harder, but end of the day, I was able just to finish it off using the Web Warriors. I don't have anywhere else to use them. So that's the first 2 nodes. They are done, and we're going to move on to Avengers. For the Avengers nodes, we are just going to use Young Avengers. I'm going to reiterate that team so much more valuable now that it's become a cornerstone of yet a third Scourge. First, I don't know what it's going to do for the 4th Scourge, but if it has value there, I'm going to recommend it for level 90 across the board, just because these are going to be such a standard thing that we as Marvel Strike Force players are going to need to do over and over and over and over again. So I'm very excited that Echo's in the War Store. Kate Bishop's going to be on a node. We're going to be able to farm that team. It's going to be a great team to have in your roster, a great tool for your toolbox. And yes, I know you can use Bionic Avengers for the Avengers section of this Scourge. And yes, you know that I'm not building Bionic Avengers because I'm on the right side of the Doom Raid. By the way, I did my tech nodes today on a 100% run of the Doom Raid, and it sucked. It sucked without the Bionic Avengers. I know this. Trust me, guy in the comments. I know it's going to suck. It's not going to be any fun. And I did it. It was a one-time thing. My alliance has gone back to 60% now. And yeah, I probably won't have to do another 100% for another few months. So before I waste all of those catalysts and all that material on Bionic Avengers, which I only am going to use like once every few months, I'm going to wait on it. Maybe I'll build them for the Death Scourge like we were talking about. But Young Avengers, crazy good team. Going to use them here. I'll let you know how it goes. Just another note on Bionic Avengers, because we're talking about it here in chat. And I just did the first node, and I was able to beat it. One shot, didn't even retry it with Young Avengers. I was fine. But look, here on my graphic, I have Bionic Avengers ranked up there as a tier 15 level 90 team. I definitely think they're a team worth building. Maybe even I'll build them tonight. I don't know. I'm about to go into the second node, and they're definitely going to be like, what happens if your Young Avengers die? I don't know, man. You're going to need to use Bionic Avengers, right? Because there's no real other team. Avengers is a very narrow tag. So you might see me build them tonight. I don't know. I'm going to go into the second node now. We're going to see how it goes. But yeah, first node, super easy. Just use Young Avengers. I think I came out of it charged enough so that I can heal going into this next node. But if I can't, or if I need a sack team, the team's going to be Bionic Avengers like 1,000%. Like, don't get me wrong. That team definitely has a lot, if not more longevity than Young Avengers, and is totally worth building at some point. But because I already sank resources into my Young Avengers, that's just where I'm at right now. So that's what I'm leaning on. And I'm just happy to see that it's useful in so many game modes still. Well, in this game mode, in multiple Scourges, not just the one that it's like the Node 5, Node 10 team for. You can also just have it do work in all the other Scourges. So it's very cool for that. Really looking forward to see if you can still use it in the Death Scourge. I'm hoping that you can. I'd like the team to say, valuable. All right, so I went into the second node with Young Avengers. We were beat up. I didn't get to heal. It's Squirrel Girl's turn. However, Young Avengers are so good and so powerful that I didn't need it. I'm going to hit this ultimate with Squirrel Girl. It's going to take out most of this node. If I got to come back in here, I'll tell you what, I'll build Bionic Avengers tonight. But I don't know if it's going to happen, people. I don't know. I got 2 Hulks to deal with. I basically have like a full Gamma team here. We were able to remove Brawn passively. And Young Avengers is holding on. I'm telling you, for whatever reason, this team does not want to die. And I love it. So if you don't have Bionic Avengers, if you were thinking twice about building Young Avengers, I think it's still very much worth it. It's still very viable. It's a fantastic team to have for Scourges. And yeah, here it is, just refusing to die, doing everything it needs to do and more, and getting us 500,000 points with probably the least amount of effort and definitely the least amount of teams. So if you don't have any teams, all you have is Web Warriors, all you have is Young Avengers, and you put a lot of resources into them, it's all you need. 2 teams, 500,000 points, get your Red Hulk. There's absolutely no excuse not to. All right, I'm moving on now to get 1 million points. So keep watching for that. Let's see if we can make it happen. But there it is. I think, did we surpass what we did on difficulty 6? Let me see it come up here. And I had a decent amount of Scourge put up here. All right, we didn't surpass the points, but we did get 500,000 points. Here it is. I'm going to go into mission number 5 now and see if I'm able to beat it with my kind of ragtag group of Hero Asgardians and Wave 1 Avengers with Hulk and Iron Man. Let's see if we can make it happen. All right, everybody, keep digging. All right, I'm going into node 5. I'm using the same team. I did not change the levels on it at all. It's the same as earlier in the video. I thought about it. I thought maybe I want to like raise this up a little bit or change and like power it up, but I don't know. I might just want to play with the kill order. Maybe I want to go in here like this is we ate a lot of attacks right off the bat. So maybe I could consider, sacking this with something first. Okay, I can gain 5 counterattacks doing this. That's pretty good. I like being able to heal by doing this special attack as well. So maybe I'll just basic. Hopefully the basic attack will just kill Negasonic. Damn near killed Negasonic. Okay, last time I did this, I was able to use the special on Iron Man and like basically kill everybody. I don't think that's going to work here. Let me go ahead and I kind of want to hit everybody though. But I'm just going to basic and drop some of this defense down. Playing this a little bit differently. All right. Okay, I can stun here. So this is the reason why I put the tier 4s onto Valkyrie, is so I could do this stun. And if someone has death proof, it does more damage. So that's good to know. I don't know a lot about this kid. I want to stun Wong though. I think that'd be a really good idea. And I wasn't able to, probably because she's only tier 14 and Wong's a very strong character with a lot of resistance. So I wasn't able to get through it. Valkyrie died and I did not get the buffs. And this is not going well at all at this point. So I'm going to quit out. We're going to have to rethink this and either replay it a few times until I get better luck, or maybe power the team up to tier 15. I'll let you know what I end up doing. All right, so what I ended up doing was actually sacking the node, sending a sacrifice team of Ravagers. And I was actually able to get my Ravagers, which are incredibly, you can look at my Ravagers, they're like tier 12. They suck. I sent them in. I was able to get Omega. I was able to kill Negasonic and get Omega Red to use his ultimate. So that's great. He's basically useless now. I do have to watch out for Doctor Strange, but I think I'm going to get a much different result now when I go in with my team, hopefully. And hopefully down all I have to do is down this node. I'm not doing node 10 on this run. I think that that's off the table with this team. I think if I wanted to do node 10, I would definitely have to at least tier 15 the hero Asgardians that I have here. I think it would be very hard for me to make it through this healthy. Like, I'm just going to struggle to beat this. And then I shouldn't have a problem after this. After this, nodes 6, 7, 8, 9 are so easy because of all the characters you get to use, especially like the villain characters we've been seeing in this video. I've been using those horseman characters, the Darkhold characters. Really easy. We have the skill raid team, which is built up very high for most players. There's the Doctor Strange ultimate. I was worried about that. However, since I didn't have any buffs, it didn't hit me very hard at all. So that was pretty great, actually. I'm actually going to start working on Omega Red because he is going to, charge up pretty fast, and I really don't want to deal with any of his moves. All right, nice. The special from Iron Man was still extremely devastating. So using that, just going to try to get rid of Omega Red and get through this. Definitely helped to bring in that sacrifice team. And I'm going to save Valkyrie's stun for perhaps the second wave. Here comes Thor. Thor, man, I think if there's one character I would take to tier 15 to help me out tonight, it would be Thor. With that passive and then his ultimate, he's probably going to be the MVP of this. If there's more power on him, I could see that being very useful. Sticking to what I said in my guide as well. If you look at my picture, I do have Thor higher up on here than other people. Do I still have Thor higher up on here? I thought I put Thor a little higher. Yeah, he's up there. He's in tier 15, level 8. Basically because of that reason, he does a little extra stuff, and I think you could use him in other scourges as well. I don't think that he would just only have value here. I think he's going to work out other places as well. All right, we're going to kill Phantomix. Next time Thor gets a turn, he will be able to ultimate. I just don't know if he's going to get a turn. We're going to see. I might have to start this over and kind of change the way I play it. Maybe get luckier. Maybe hope for Valkyrie to die even so that she gets, to put her buffs. All right, I was able to kill Mr. Sinister. That was a really good move. Oh, that was huge. My Thor's dead. But you know what? I only have 5 characters on the board. Maybe I can still just make it through this. All right, we have a Hulk. Let's get rid of Madeline Pryor. All right, Hulk just deleted Madeline Pryor. That was awesome. Once again, not doing the final node. All right, here comes a big Hulk ultimate with offense up over here in the corner. Absolute decimation. Wong's only alive because he has a death proof on him. I think we're going to make it just fine through this. All right, we're going to just take the advantage right now. Kill Wong. And yeah, that's it. This team totally held up on node 5 with no additional resources. I'm loving it. Like I said, I can't take it to node 10 without putting more resources into it. That's something I'm going to have to debate whether I'm going to want to do. But I feel like the 1,000,000 points is going to be easy at this point. I feel like I'm going to be able to hit that with little to no trouble at all. Quite honestly, I think we got this. I don't know. We will see. Let's keep going. We're going to go onto those villain nodes. I'm tempted to still just take in the 3 Darkhold members. I don't know. Let me talk to my. I'll let you know what I do here in this video, but let me talk to my chat a little bit. Maybe they can talk me down, or maybe they'll talk me into it. Okay, so here we are. We're on the villains node. I did end up taking more than just the Darkhold that I have. So I do have Morgan Le Fay. I do have Agatha. I do have Doctor Strange. I brought in Doctor Doom and I brought in Emma just to charge up Doom, just to make the next node super easy. But if I didn't have Emma and I didn't have Doom, I don't think they were necessary. I don't think they're really doing that much being here. I don't see the difference. It's helping out a little bit, I'm sure. But most of this heavy lifting is being done by those Darkhold members. And now we're going into the second villain node with absurd abilities charged up, with a full Doctor Doom ultimate on deck. And yeah, we're ready to roll. And then after this, all we have is skill. I can't use any of this for skill, so I'll just throw everything I have at this next node. Not using Dormammu. I have Dormammu over here, but there's no reason to use that. This villain section is probably, this might be the easiest section of any Scourge that we've seen to date. This is so easy, and we have so much roster. And I guess what makes it even easier is that we don't really have, you have such a large amount of characters that can't be used anywhere else in the Scourge. These villain characters are pretty much limited to right here. There's no villain Avengers. There's no there's some villain skill, but not a whole lot. All right, so we're just going to kick this off. We are going to throw in the Morgan Le Fay ultimate right on here on Cersei. I'll probably just play, it's literally going to take seconds. Seconds to beat this. The way I have this set up, big Doctor Strange ultimate here is going to come through and basically destroy everything. Yeah, this is absurdly simple. I am going to save the Agatha ultimate for that Icarus that's going to drop. I'm going to kill Cersei before Icarus drops. I'm going to go ahead and hit the Doom ultimate here because why not? This is absurd. Let's go ahead and do a little damage here to Icarus. Explode the Doom bots. And Icarus gets to heal, but he's not going to last long. We're going to remove his buffs. We're going to take down his turn bar. And we are going to kill Doom with Strange. And that's it for the villain section. This couldn't be easier. Absolutely could not be easier. Oh my God. How simple was that? All right, so villain section. Villain section makes me want to crank this up to difficulty 8. And I might play around with that. We're going to see. I've been forgetting to kill fortifiers. I forget that it was even there. That Scourge, I don't think it matters that much. I haven't noticed if it was doing anything or not. Like the first few nodes, I was like, oh, let me make sure I kill the fortifiers. At this point, like I don't even notice butterfly effect. It's not a very hard Scourge to deal with. All right, we have 890 points. We're going into the skill nodes. I'll let you know how it goes. Okay, here's the first skill node, and yeah, this time I didn't mess around with Gamora. I'm sorry, everybody. I just had to take Kestrel in like a normal person would. And yeah, it is much easier with Kestrel. We are able to get around that taunt with Red Guardian, go after Dagger with all the buffs, let Shang-Chi handle it. I'm going to go ahead and stun. I'm going to ability block Morgan. It's not Morgan Le Fay. You're Madeline Pryor. I barely use Madeline Pryor. That's so sad. I'm going to go ahead and ability block her because she's about to take her turn, and I just don't want to deal with her ultimate attack or whatever the hell that is. And that's it. So we're going fairly charged into the second skill node. First skill node was a cakewalk. Very, very easy. My chat's saying that Yondu isn't working right in Scourge. Dude, he worked fine for me. I sent him in. He died. It was great. Working as intended. What are you trying to get him to do? Are you trying to get him to live? Don't do that. And there it is, everybody. That's 1,000,000 points. So that's all you need to do is one skill node. I didn't even have to leave that node charged, but I did. I can go ahead and beat this next node and get a few more points, but Look, I'm tired. I've been, the live stream's been going for 6 hours. These are the edited highlights that are a full hour. So this is your Scourge guide. I might make some more Scourge videos. If you have other ideas for me, leave them down in the comments. Any other kind of Scourge tips I can give you if I figure out anything else that I can tell you about this. But I think this is it for me. For me, this was a roaring success that I was able to get 1 million points with a very minimal build into the Node 5 and Node 10 teams. Just kind of building up Thor, Sif, and Valkyrie. I really don't want to put more resources in them, so I don't think I'm going to. I think a lot of people are probably going to ask me, they're like, well, Mr. Hartgrave, where do you think you're going to get? Where do you think 1 million points is going to get you? And honestly, I don't care. I really don't play this game for leaderboards or bragging rights or any of that kind of crap. So I really don't know where I'm going to end up on the leaderboard. My friend Dorky Dad here, he's probably going to end up as number 1. Good for him. Right now, my score is putting me like in the top 3,000. It's probably not going to hold, especially after I release this video and show everybody in the world how to get 1 million points. But there it is. I don't really care. I don't mind helping you. You'll probably get a higher score than I will if you have the same kind of roster I do, or maybe even a little better. And I'm fine with that. I assume that where I'm going to land is probably right here in the top 5 to 6%. I think at the end of the day, I might maybe up higher. I mean, I always kind of assume I'm going to end up lower than I am. In most game modes, I end up in the top 1 to 2%. I don't know if that's going to happen this time. I'm happy with 5 to 6. That's going to give me 4 red stars. I think at least gives me 4 yellow stars on Red Hulk. And that's fine. It's going to keep coming around again and again and again. And the cool thing is that the red stars stay and these people go away. The top 500 here, everybody that gets 7 yellow on Red Hulk is going to fuck off to their own leaderboard. And then I will have an easier time getting higher up on the leaderboard with even less investment than those idiots. All right, everybody, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, comment down below, and keep digging. But myself keeps slipping.